Hello everyone. So let us go for the session 7 of module 2, the data structure. Here we are going to study something about the queue. Queue in general, you can see those who comes first, they can get the things first and they can go early, right? So that concept we are going to use the same concept in data structures also. So the definition of queue is, a queue is an ordered list in which insertions and deletions takes place at different ends. So in the stack, if you consider, it was taking place in only in the top of the stack, right? But here you will be having front end and rear end. There are two different ends for the queue. You are going to insert the elements from rear end and you are going to delete the element from front end. The end at which new elements are added, we are calling it as rear, and the end where the old elements are deleted, we call it as front. Since the first element, whatever we are inserting into queue, is the first element which will be removed, so queues are also called as first in, first out. Right? It is not like stack, it is first in, first out. Now how can we represent the queue as an array? So you can represent the queue as this. So this is the rear end from where you are going to insert the element, and when you insert it will go here, and from the front end you are going to delete the element. So A0 is inserted initially, that will be deleted first. Next A1 is inserted from the front end, that will be deleted. Next A2 will be inserted, that will be deleted. So delete item from the front, insert the item into rear. So this is how exactly the queue works. You are going to insert to rear end and you are going to delete it from the front end. So whatever you are inserting, that will go as a queue. So now red block is the last block, that is out, and here yellow is the last block, that will be out. Like that it will continue. Okay. So the condition front is equal to null will indicate that the queue is empty. That is the initial condition. When front is equal to null, nothing is there, you have empty queue, right? So that condition will indicate the queue is empty. What are the different operations you have in queue? There are five different operations, and one more is create. You are going to create a queue initially. So total there are 6 operations: create, insert, overflow, delete, underflow and display. So how can we create the queue? We can create the queue like this. Initially we need to define a maximum size, just as your stack you are setting the maximum size, and then you are defining a queue, that is, I have declared the variable as queue and I have specified the size as maximum. Okay, then you need to declare a front and rear. In the stack you have declared only one variable, that is top. Top is equal to -1, finished. But in queue you have to declare both front as well as rear. Front should be pointing to 0 and rear should be pointing to -1. This is the initial condition of the queue. Now how can we insert and how we can come to know that queue is overflow? So this is the algorithm for insert queue operation, where you can see in the step 1 you are going to check if the queue is full. If the queue is full, you cannot insert, isn't it? So if the queue is full, produce the overflow error and exit. Okay. Then if the queue is not full, what you need to do? You need to increment the rear pointer to point to the next empty space, right? So rear should be rear plus 1. So that will point to the next particular space. Add the data element to queue location. Now where the rear is pointing to that particular location, you add the element. Then return success. Okay, so this is insert operation and overflow. When overflow occurs, when the queue is full and if you want to try to insert one more, then you are going to get the message as overflow. So how we can insert? What are the different steps? This is the empty queue. The first condition, front is pointing to 0 here and rear is pointing to -1. Now if I want to insert an element, then what I need to do? I need to increment rear by 1 so that rear will point to 0 and insert the element over to 0th position. So I want to insert 10 now. So how I have done? I have incremented rear by 1 so that rear is pointing to 0 now. Insert the element over to rear position. Okay. Once again I want to insert 20. So what I have to do now? Once again increment rear by 1. Then insert 20. So front is pointing to same. Front is pointing to 0 itself. We have not touched front pointer. We are going to play with only rear pointer. Now after this, once again if I want to insert, then increment rear by 1, insert the element. Once again increment rear by 1, insert the element. Increment rear by 1, insert the element. Now in this position you can see the queue is full. There is no extra space in queue because we have the maximum size of the queue as 5. Now rear is equal to queue size minus 1. Maximum size was 5. So rear is pointing to 4 now. That is nothing but queue size, maximum size minus 1. So when rear is pointing to max minus 1th position, then I can tell that queue is full. And when you reach to this particular condition, you can finalize that saying queue is overflow. Suppose if you try to insert again, then it should display queue is overflow. So how can I write the program code for this? I can write the code like this. If rear is pointing to max minus 1, then queue is overflow. Otherwise, insert the element into the queue. You are going to read that element, then you are going to do rear is equal to rear plus 1, insert that element over to queue of rear position. Very simple code it is. Next, let us go for deletion and underflow. So this is same as your insertion, vice versa of your insertion operation. Check if the queue is empty. If the queue is empty, produce the underflow error and exit. If the queue is not empty, then delete the element from front position and increment front pointer to point to the next space. What you are exactly going to do? You are going to delete from front and you are going to increment front so that it will point to the next particular element, and you can delete in the next step if you want. So if front is greater than rear, make it as initial condition. Why? Because when front is greater than rear, there is no elements will be left out in the queue. So you need to make it as an empty queue. How can I make it as an empty queue? I can make it as the pointing to the initial condition saying front is equal to 0 and rear is equal to minus 1. And then return success. This is what the algorithm for delete queue operation. Let us see the steps. So initially, suppose this is the queue whatever you have. Now front is pointing to 0th position and rear is pointing to last position. Your queue is full now, right? Now I want to delete the element. Which element will be deleted first? It will be deleting the front element which is there in front, right? So when I go for delete operation, it will delete 10 and increment front by 1. So 10 is vanished over from here, and front will be pointing to the next element. So what is the next element which will be deleted? 20 will be deleted. So whatever was inserted initially, that will be deleted initially. So first in, first out. That is the concept of queue. Now when I press delete, again the 20 will be deleted, front will be pointing to next element. Again if I delete, 30 will be deleted, front will be pointing to next element. Again if I delete, 40 will be deleted, next front and rear will be equal now. Again when I delete, front will move to the next particular index, that is front will be greater than rear now, right? When front is greater than rear, there is nothing left out in the queue. So you need to go for empty queue now. When front is greater than rear, you need to decide that it is an empty queue. Only in that case front will become greater than rear. Then rest every case you can see front is less than rear only. So when front is greater than rear, it results empty queue. Hence we need to make it as the initial condition. What is the initial condition? Front is 0 and rear is -1. So that you can insert once again into this queue. Right? So when front is greater than rear, you have to make front is 0 and rear is -1. So this will become, right? So how can I write the program for delete queue operation? Now this is very simple. If front is greater than rear, then queue underflow, you have to display queue underflow. Then otherwise what you need to do? You need to make item pointing to queue of front. Whatever is there in queue of front, that you need to delete, right? So queue of front, you are going to store it in a variable called item, and you are going to just display deleted element as item, right? Next, increment front pointer by 1. If front is greater than rear, then make it as the initial condition. So this is how we have done here also. Whatever is there in queue of front, that will be deleted, increment front by 1. So the same operation we have done over here. When you reach to the last position, when front is greater than rear, make it as front is equal to 0 and rear is equal to -1. Now, how can we display queue? There are two cases for displaying queue. If the queue is empty, then you need to display the queue is empty. When we will get that condition? When front is greater than rear, you have to display queue is empty queue, right? If the queue is having some items, then you need to display, you are starting from I is equal to front, that is 10 will be displayed first. Then I want to display 20, so I will be incremented by 1. Then 30, 40 until 50. So when till I is less than rear, you need to display all the elements whatever is there in the queue. Okay, so this is how we can write the queue display. I hope this function is clear. So now let us see how can we code it. So this is same as if front is greater than rear, queue is empty. The elements of the queue are, how can I display? Using that two codes I can display. I is equal to front, I is less than rear, I plus plus, and you are going to display queue of I. So I hope this session is clear. Let us meet in the next session.